to read. I like to read. I really, really, really like to read. And always have done. I know that I read before school. I mean, I wasn't reading books by any means, but I was reading books by, I think, my first grade year. And I did go to kindergarten before then. And so I've read books basically all my life. I was reading Stephen King novels at 11. I was reading adult books in junior high. I was the one that was pointing out all the naughty parts to my friends. And sorry, parents of my friends and my parents, but whatevs, this is what you do when you're a teen or less than a teen and you have hormones and stuff. And so I read a lot now, even though I'm on a little break. This week I'm on a little break of reading because I've been going through gluts. I call it I'm kind of like glutting on reading sometimes. I'll read like one book and then read another book, and it's usually not, the literature books that are good for you. It's all like romance novels and thrillers and, and that's fine. I have a college degree now, so I shouldn't have to feel guilty about reading, pulp and reading romance novels. And most of the romance novels I have are fairly, I would say fairly feminist. They're not, certainly not the romance novels of the 80s and 70s, which were a lot more, a little more risque, a little bit more domineering kind of male protagonists. And some of the ones that I read now kind of turn the formula on its ear. And they're definitely formulaic. So maybe I should tell you my theory of romance novels. I mean, because a romance novel is formulaic. There's a woman and a man, and, or two people, but I mostly read heterosexual ones. So a woman and a man, and by the end of the book, they're together. So there might be a little mystery part of it. There's certainly conflict, but it might be just domestic conflict as far as like, the guy deciding he's going to love her or the girl deciding, she's going to love him. Usually the women are, all lovey-dovey and the men have a harder time figuring out that they love the women. And usually the dudes are big hoes and then the women aren't. They're virtuous virgins. But I like the ones where I certainly read quite a few where the women might not be virgins before. I think Jane Feather does one where these three sisters all lost their virginity on, not on a dare, but they're all like, hey, we don't want to be virgins anymore. And they weren't necessarily interested in marrying. And so they all, it was just kind of like an aside, They found three dudes and they each divested themselves of their virginity. So then when they met their future husbands, they could screw like bunnies, and it's great. So great. Way too much information, but so that's like how I feel about it. It's kind of like I don't really read to think deep thoughts in that sense. Especially lately, because I've just finished school. So I'm kind of still, I think I'm mostly recovered, but I think I still have a little bit of, I don't think I'm going to read anything good for me for a while, and that's okay. I'm doing other things that are good for me, like writing on my blog, although here I am posting a video post so I don't have to write, but could have post every day. That's the way I'm looking at it. So books are awesome. I should be a better person and read more fine literature, but I won't write yet. And I will let you know. You will be the first people to know when I do.